This is the Char-Broil Performance Series Convective 2-burner cabinet propane gas stainless steel grill. What won me over is how quickly it gets to cooking temperature and how reliably it keeps flare-ups in check. So I spend more time actually grilling and less time fighting hot spots. I would put this in the compact, weeknight-friendly category. It is a cabinet-style propane grill with 2 main burners, sized for small patios or balconies, and built for people like me who want real heat and real sear marks without dedicating half the backyard to a massive setup. It makes the most sense for singles, couples, and small families. And it also works as a secondary grill for someone who already has a large charcoal setup, but wants quicker starts and cleaner shutdowns. The design is straightforward in the ways that matter. The stainless steel lid and fascia feel durable, and the mix of silver and black looks clean without calling attention to itself. The cabinet hides the propane tank, which keeps the area tidy and shields the hose from accidental bumps. Both side shelves are large enough for platters and sauces, and they fold down when I need extra space. The control knobs sit up front where my hand naturally goes, and the temperature gauge on the lid is easy to read at a glance. The whole thing has some heft, right around 82 pounds, which is good for stability on a deck. The 2 wheels make it simple to roll across a patio, but it is not something I would want to carry up and down a flight of stairs by myself. The main handle is sturdy and does not flex when I lift the lid, and the stainless surfaces wipe down without much effort. I still recommend covering it if rain is coming, because that is the easiest way to keep any grill looking good. Setup was painless, but not instant. I gave myself a relaxed afternoon, and it took me about 1 hour to get from box to first preheat. The instructions were clear, and all I needed was a basic screwdriver and a wrench. The heaviest bits are the cabinet panels and the lid, so I took my time. I connected a standard 20-pound propane tank inside the cabinet and checked for leaks with a soapy water test. The ignition is a push-button system. Most of the time it fires right away. Every now and then I have to give it a second press, which is not a deal breaker, but it is there. Once the flames are going, the burners respond quickly to knob adjustments, and the lid thermometer comes alive. From cold start, I see 400 degrees in around 10 minutes, sometimes a little faster on warmer days. The core of the cooking experience is even heat with minimal flare-ups. This grill uses what Char-Broil calls a true infrared-style grate and emitter setup. In plain language, there is a layer that converts the burner flames into a more uniform heat across the surface. The upshot for me is fewer sudden bursts of fire when fat renders, and a steadier temperature side to side. That helps with consistency. I do not end up with one burger that is blackened and one that is still pale when they were on the same rack. The porcelain-coated cast iron grates hold heat well for a good sear, and food releases without a wrestling match as long as I give it a minute to develop those first grill marks. The grill is compact, which means it gets hot fast and holds that heat. On the flip side, delicate foods like asparagus or thin fish fillets can go from perfect to overdone if I do not dial the burners down. I learned to use one burner lower and one burner higher to create a gentle zone, and I lean on the warming rack when I want to slow things down. Real cooking space is about 300 square inches, plus a warming rack. In practice, that means I can lay out around a dozen standard burgers, or 6 to 8 larger patties with room to move. 4 steaks fit easily, and I can do a row of brats with veggies on the upper rack. A whole spatchcock chicken is doable with a little positioning. A full rack of ribs requires creativity, either cutting it in half or standing it with a rib rack. If I am hosting a large group, I cycle batches, which is not a problem as long as I plan the order. For most weeknight dinners and small gatherings, the size hits a sweet spot. I tested it the way I actually cook. On a Tuesday night, I preheated for about 10 minutes, brushed the grates, and put on marinated chicken thighs. The true infrared-style setup kept flare-ups tame, even when the fat rendered, and I got an even brown crust without the outside scorching. I moved the pieces to the warming rack for the final few minutes while I grilled zucchini spears over the cooler side. On a Saturday, I did a round of burgers and toasted buns on the upper rack. Buns came off warm and lightly crisped, and the patties cooked evenly enough that I was not swapping positions to chase cool spots. For steak, I like the burners high with the lid down to preheat the grates, then lid up for the sear, then lid down to finish. The cast iron grates laid down defined marks, and the meat stayed juicy. I also tried salmon on a cedar plank. I kept one burner lower, placed the plank over the gentler side, and shut the lid. The grill held a steady medium heat, and the fish cooked through without drying out. One of my favorite use cases is a no-fuss weeknight dinner for 4 people. I get home, open the propane valve, press the ignition, and close the lid. While it climbs toward 400 degrees, I season proteins and slice vegetables. By the time I am done, the grill is steady. I sear on the hotter half, then slide to the cooler zone to finish. The warming rack becomes a staging area for toasted bread or cooked vegetables. When everyone is eating, I turn the burners off, close the valve, and let the residual heat burn off bits on the grates for a few minutes. Cleanup is quick. The porcelain-coated grates brush clean easily, and the grease tray slides out from the back. I line that tray with aluminum foil, and it takes less than 2 minutes to swap it out. That is the kind of routine that makes me actually want to grill on a work night. There are a handful of thoughtful touches that make a difference. The illuminated knobs are small but useful when I am cooking past sunset. The cabinet door keeps the tank out of sight and gives me a place to stash a brush and some heat-resistant gloves. The lid thermometer is not a precision instrument, but it is consistent, so I can use it to repeat results. The side shelves lock firmly in place, so I am not worried about a platter tipping, and folding them down really does help when I am tight on space. It is not perfect. The ignition needs a second press once in a while. The compact body can run hotter than I expect with the lid down, so I learned to turn the knobs lower than I would on a larger grill when I am cooking delicate items. Assembly takes a bit of patience if you are doing it alone. Mobility is a mixed bag. The wheels are handy on a flat patio, but the weight that keeps it stable also means I plan ahead before moving it far. None of these are deal breakers for me, but they are worth knowing. Where this grill shines is consistency and convenience. It goes from cold to cooking quickly. It spreads heat evenly enough that I do not micromanage every inch of the grate. It tames flare-ups without killing the sear. And it makes the after-dinner cleanup painless, which matters because a grill I dread cleaning is a grill I do not use. If you are cooking for 1 to 4 people most nights, if you want a compact grill that looks neat on a balcony or a small deck, and if you appreciate quick starts with reliable results, I would recommend the Char-Broil Performance Series Convective 2-burner cabinet propane gas stainless steel grill. If you regularly cook giant cuts, entire briskets, or multiple racks of ribs, you will probably want a larger cooking area, or you will want to accept that you will be cooking in batches. For me, the balance of size, speed, and even heat hits exactly what I need for weeknights and casual weekends. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel and drop a comment with your questions or your own grilling experiences. Thank you for watching.